Good morning and welcome to Life and Style. My name is Catherine Mwangi. This is Books and Blogs, filmed here at 4 Points by Sheraton, the Hurlingham branch. We have on the show today Mr. Douglas Owino, who has made it very easy for any and everyone seeking a scholarship in any part of the world. The book is called How to Win and Retain a Scholarship. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And you look very smart.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you. So going through your book,
yes,
the last couple of days, and I find it's the manual we need. Whether you're leaving high school to secondary, high school to the workforce, whether you're leaving university, you want a scholarship, whether you're in the workforce and you want a scholarship or a fellowship, you have covered it all here.
Exactly. I thought scholarship is quite diverse because they are the regular university scholarship for undergraduate, master's or PhD, but at the same time there are scholarship for short programs that are designed for those who want to do a professional program or already working, but they need a little bit of a short-term training. So I thought that is also important because it applies to a number of people around the workforce.
True. How long did it take you to come up with this book? There's a lot of research that has gone into
That's
this
a good
book.
question. But if you have looked at the book, it's more research-based.
Yes.
The journey started in 2013, and that is after getting my master's scholarship, and students and a few colleagues started asking me questions. How did you do this? How did you do this? Then I started trying to work on a manual. So from that journey, I was using it as a guidebook. You know, being a scholarship consultant previously and an advisor, so I needed my own guidebook. So I was using the guidebook to advise students, and when I realized the students actually started getting scholarship, and then it reached a point that the numbers were overwhelming.
Wow.
I was not in a position to, you know, have a one-on-one with everyone.
Yes.
So it was quite demanding, and I thought of coming up with something that they're able to, you know, they just have a copy and they're able to work it out. You know? So it's more of teaching how to fish, you know, and then now you can go fishing.
Yes.
So it's
this
easier that way than actually fishing with you. I can't fish with everyone.
But at least there are people whom you fish with, if you have the time for it.
When I have time, that is fine.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'd advise at least students to have a copy. Then when they're stuck somewhere, just ask me how to go about that. Yeah.
So you don't even have like a scholarship consultancy firm?
Now I work at Green States International Schools as the head of careers, and I work with students to help them, you know, advance to universities and go for careers that they're passionate about. So that is why I work full time.
So you don't have time for anything else. So hence the book.
Hence the book.
I see. And the first thing you start with, which I really liked, was what is a scholarship?
Yes, exactly. It's important to know what is a scholarship. The way we have loans, we have grants and what have you, is important to understand what is a scholarship. The financial scholarship for that matter, because scholarship can mean that you know, a higher academic level. But the financial scholarship is basically that financial assistance that is given to a student who is deserving the assistance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you've written it very simple to understand, because the next thing is why you need a scholarship. So first of all, you're a product of a scholarship.
I am a product from high school of a scholarship, because I come from a humble background. It was very challenging for me to go through school, and after struggling for a number of years and staying out of school at some point, then I realized there is a need to create this awareness. There is a need to let people know that there are scholarships. And I'm trying to define that scholarship so that you know what it is. So that when you know what it is, then you can start looking for it. And then now the how part, how to look for it. And I think it's important to look for scholarship for several reasons. And one of them, well, you might be financially needy, hence you deserve the scholarship. But then again, there are some programs that are quite expensive. My colleague did bio and brain engineering. First, it's so expensive. Number two, it's not even available locally. So sometimes you want to do a program that is not available here, and you need to do it outside, and it's too expensive. What do? You look for a scholarship. And those are some of the reasons that I'm trying to give in the book.
Wow. And those scholarships exist. Is there like a scholarship for basically anything you want to study?
Technically, the only limitation I've seen is a scholarship that limit. For example, they give you scholarship to study in any degree program available in whichever university, but limited to these programs. Or the scholarship does not cover A, B, C, D, and mostly medicine, architect, and aviation. Kindly, they have less scholarship opportunities, but they're still there.
They're there.
And they're still there. They're still there. But compared to other degree programs. Yeah.
Okay. So which are the more common programs that you can easily get a scholarship for?
I can say the rest, other than
other than aviation, medicine.
Actually, there are many degree programs. You look at the social science, the humanities, the biological sciences, and what have you. There are many degree programs. So I'll only say that from my experience, I've only seen that some scholarship limit to do medicine. Want to be a pilot. Yeah. But that is in regards to full scholarship.
Yeah.
However, for partial scholarships, then it cuts across all programs. Yeah, there's no limitation.
Partial.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for partial scholarships, they're there.
And it's anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world. Anywhere from US to
Australia, Asia,
Australia, South Korea, Norway, Sweden.
I see.
South Africa, even in Kenya.
There are scholarships here?
Yes, there are scholarships here. I'm a product of a Kenyan scholarship for my undergraduate. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, and you speak also in the book about some facts about scholarships. One that I like a lot was, I think one of the last facts here is, first, it's a tedious process, and then it's not a guarantee that you win.
Yeah, it's true. A scholarship that is open to competition is not a guarantee to a specific individual. Why? Because it goes through an evaluation process, and the evaluation process has a committee, and each committee member is looking at different qualities from you. And then at the end of the whole application process, they do the grading, and the top candidates get the scholarship depending with the quota or the number of scholarships that they want to give. So if a scholarship has a quota of 10 students and 1,000 students apply, then the top 20 the top 10 or top 20 will get the scholarship. So that's why I say it's not a guarantee. However, there are some scholarships that are very specific in nature, and they say for all Kenyans or Africans or international students, there is this percentage scholarship, and mostly they are partial scholarships, not full scholarships. So full scholarships are not guaranteed, but for partial may be guaranteed, because a university may have a standard scholarship program that gives 50% to all international students, for example, 50% tuition scholarship. So in that case, then you can have you can be assured of getting that scholarship. But where it is a full scholarship and it's open to competition, it's not a guarantee. And that means that you may not get this scholarship, but then again, you need to apply to as many scholarships as possible.
So it's not just one?
Not just one. Just try to apply to as many scholarships as possible, so that you also increase your chances of winning a scholarship.
And you also say it's a tedious process. Maybe you could paint a picture in our minds on how tedious it is.
Well, I say it is tedious because of several reasons. Number one, you'll be looking at a scholarship. You have first the deadline to meet. There are documents required, from recommendation letter to personal statements or essay. Documents need to be certified or notarized. Depending on the amount of time you have, then it can be very tedious. Because you need to go for recommendation letter, you need to look for your original transcript, you take them for notary,
at the ministry,
public, or at the ministry, and then the medical test. And for example, in my case, when I was applying for a master's scholarship, I was asked to do a medical test called tetrabromophenolphthalein ethyl ester.
How do you even remember?
So this test,
what does that even mean?
I really struggled, honestly. It took me quite some time to even understand what it is. So the only option I had is to go to different hospitals and ask them that I've been asked to do this test, and I don't know what it is. And surprisingly, they didn't know what it was.
The hospitals you went to?
Yes, I don't want to mention them.
Yeah, it's
but
okay.
Some of the top hospitals here, they didn't know what tetrabromophenolphthalein ethylase test is.
What is that? What is that test for?
So basically, that is a blood test.
What?
That is a blood.
They can't just say blood test.
Yes, apparently. So it's a blood test that tests different drug use. If I've abused drugs previously, then the test will detect. And that several drugs, from cocaine to, you know,
wow,
bang and whatever.
So you found a hospital finally that could do that.
So what I did, I went to the website of a hospital in South Korea, because that's where I did my master's, and then I got a breakdown. So I used that breakdown
to go to a local hospital and say this is what?
To do the test.
Oh my
so they understood what it was. That is how I did the test. So assuming I had a deadline to meet, I'm still struggling to do the test, then I'll miss the opportunity.
Yes.
So that is why I mentioned that it can be tedious. And the level or the degree of being tedious depends with how much you know. That's why I recommend that if you have the book and you have time to go through it, then you'll already know so much.
Yes.
So when it comes to application, it's already a process that you understand.
Yes.
For example, you want to apply for a scholarship now. If you went to American syllabus school or a British, let's say you went to a British curriculum, that is university, and the grading system is first class, second class, you know, and you apply for a scholarship, a master's scholarship that requires a 3.5 GPA. So you have second class upper, and you don't know what 3.5 GPA is, and then you are confused. So who do you ask?
Wow.
So these are some of the things that I'm trying to address. And
book.
If you know them in advance, it becomes an easy process for you.
So it's psychological preparation that you've given us here.
Yes, yes, yes.
And you also, I didn't know this, that there are scholarships for orphans?
Yes, they are, specifically for orphans. And I give, I've covered different types of scholarships here, and at least give an example of an education scholarship. So the ones that I've covered here is called Ashinaga, which is from a Japan-based NGO, by working with different universities globally. So it's for orphans. Either you have lost one parent or both parents.
Yes.
Yeah. So other than the other requirements, the academic merit and the leadership and what have you, then the orphan bit must be, you know.
You have to prove that you're an orphan.
You have to prove that you are an orphan.
Wow. Yeah. That was touching. Also, so you have scholarships for women.
Yeah, apparently there's some scholarships that are gender-based and they are biased to women as opposed to men.
Yeah, I was going to ask, is there than those for men?
Yeah, more of women than men.
Is it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
They are there.
That's also
so
here.
It gives you advantage.
Yeah, girl child. So you've covered also where to find scholarships. Maybe you could tell us a couple of places.
Scholarships come from, you can know about scholarship from many sources. You know, we can be sitting here and I tell you, by the way, there is Rhodes Scholarship in South Africa, which is actually open right now. Yes.
Like now?
Yeah, like now. If you're looking for master's scholarship, you can go for Rhodes Scholarship in South Africa.
Okay. But you
so
talk about
the information can come from someone next to you. Yeah, it can come from the government government Ministry of Education website. It can be on the newspaper. For example, my first degree scholarship was on the newspaper. I was just going through the newspaper and I saw it, I read, and I'm qualified. So what is blocking me from applying? Nothing. And I applied. I went for a competitive process interview, and I got it.
Yeah.
They come from the newspaper. They have online information. Just go to, you know, even if you Google, you'll find a number of scholarships. However, you need to verify the authenticity of that scholarship.
Oh, they're
so
fake
ones. Someone can advertise scholarship that does not exist, or the application period already passed. So you're struggling to prepare to apply for what is not available. So I advise applicants, at least when you get a scholarship information, go to the root source of that information. It's either the institution giving the scholarship, if it's an NGO, or the university that is giving that scholarship. So on their website, they'll have the first-hand information regarding that scholarship. And where applicable or possible, just give them a phone call, write them an email. I've seen this scholarship. Does it exist? Can I apply? Am I qualified? In my case, I always try to verify from the institutions. I've seen this scholarship, and I look at ABCD kind of a person, and I feel that I meet the requirements.
Yeah.
Am I eligible to apply? So that you don't prepare to apply for a scholarship that is not open to Kenyans, for instance.
Okay.
There are some scholarships that are they specify.
Country specific.
Yes, which countries can apply for that scholarship.
So you have to be very keen going in there, reading everything.
That's why I said it's sometimes tedious. And the worst scenario is applying for what is not there for you. Yeah, so that's
are there fake scholarships?
The fake scholarships, there is where there is someone advertises a scholarship that is not there, or the right scholarship, but in real sense it's not scholarship. So when you arrive, you think you got a full scholarship, but maybe it's only 5% scholarship. You know.
What?
Yeah.
And you're already there.
You're already there.
So you have to work. So
you find that there are so many additional costs that you have to meet that you are not prepared to meet.
And if you can't, you just take the next flight home.
Yeah, I received a call from UK. A parent wanted 1 million Kenya shillings to fund education in a span of 2 weeks. And now she was asking me, I'm looking for scholarship. I'm like, okay, so in my mind, I'm trying to imagine, why are you there in the first place?
Yeah, how do you get to the UK without confirmation?
Yeah. So it's important to, especially it applies to partial scholarships. So you have to verify and get at least as much information as possible.
Yeah.
How much does the scholarship cover? Okay. Then how much am I required to pay as part of tuition?
Right.
Then what is the cost of living in that country? For me as a student, maybe in a studio apartment, or I share with a colleague, how much will it cost?
Yeah.
Because some countries are so expensive. For a studio, can be as much as $1,000, which is 100,000 Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
So while maybe you are prepared to meet 100,000 per month for your kid or yourself, then you realize that is the rent cost only. Then there are meals, there's the transport, there is migration, there are books, and many
so
things.
is it then worth it to get scholarships outside the country, given all these other costs that come, as compared to just getting a scholarship locally?
There are many reasons.
Okay.
Basically from the spectrum of the learning process. And learning process is not only academic. There are many things, the experience, you know. In my case, I had the opportunity to work part-time job,
right.
and I learned so much. The work culture,
Yes,
different.
ethics,
Yeah, I learned a foreign language, which I applied, and I even represented someone at the High Court.
In that language?
Yeah, as a translator. So,
wow.
So the learning process, sometimes you have to weigh options. For example, in my case, I found it more valuable to do a master's outside than locally. But where else a student might find it valuable to study here than for outside the country. For example, I might be a student here, and then I have a different kind of, some businesses I'm trying to run that will be impossible if I leave the country. Or I might be having a family here, settled with children and paying fees. So if I leave the country, probably it might distract my attention from taking care of my family. So it's an individual-based kind of.
You have a lot to weigh.
Yeah.
Okay, and then here you've also given us insights on how to, actually what you're talking about, how to identify scholarship scams.
Yes.
There are many.
Yes, there are many other scams around. You need to be very careful.
And when it comes to scholarships, just maybe you can answer at the same time with the scams one. Are people supposed to pay a certain amount of money in order to get this scholarship?
That's quite interesting. It depends. But ideally, the institution that is giving the scholarship should not ask for any amount. So if you're applying for a scholarship in a university, and that same university is asking for some fees, yet they're also giving you, it's contradictory.
Yes,
however, the fee may apply where you are working with a consultant, for instance, or a scholarship advisor who is just advising you through the process. You know, the proficiency test, the standardized tests, and many other things, and therefore charge a fee for that.
Okay.
But from the institution, no, I've not heard of one.
So if that happens, you know, you're being scammed.
That is likely to be a scam. The only exception is where the application of a scholarship requires you to get admission first. So you need a university admission, then after getting the admission is when you apply for the scholarship. Then those are two different processes. So the first process is to apply for university admission, and that admission fee may apply. So in that case, you are not paying for scholarship, you are paying for university admission.
To enable you apply.
So after getting the admission, now you can apply for scholarship. We should not ask for any amount of money.
Okay. And as we get near to winding up, you have discussed with us here on the qualities of a scholarship winner. I mean, hey.
Yeah, I think
this winner has some special qualities, eh?
Well, I think it's important to know these things. Number one, what I did a lot of research. To come up with this book, I did a lot of research, and my research involved different angles. Number one, I was getting information from scholarship committee members, those who are evaluating students, and asking them what they are looking for. Then I met the different universities and tried to find out what type of students are you giving scholarships. Then I get that information. Then I talk to students who have won scholarship. How did you do it? What are some of the qualities that were standing out?
Yes.
I collected that information. Then through my journey, getting the scholarship and whatever, I collected that information and then pack it up together to bring this book. So this is what I mentioned, I discussed when talking of the qualities. And basically, the purpose of the scholarship is to capacity build you so that you can be, you can actually help your community in one way or the other. So having said that, then there's this element of community service. For instance, what contributions are you making to the people around you, to the society, or to your country? For example, if it's let's say there's a scholarship in public health, and I realize that you're already establishing some, training some nurses around your place, for instance, then I feel there is a need to give you scholarship so that you can transfer the knowledge to the people around you. So these are some of the things that I was looking at. So we are talking about leadership, you know, being in a position to influence people, to direct people. So you are given information, then you pass it on. Community service and the grades as well, because for you to get a scholarship, you must have grades that is admissible for that degree program. And many other things that I have discussed that. So I thought those are some of the key qualities that most scholarships are looking for in candidates. So you realize, you might find out that some scholarship may not require all of them. But at least if you have all of them, then you are better off for as many scholarships as possible.
So if you go for a scholarship outside Kenya, do they have to follow you up when your time is up to come back? Are you forced to come back? Or unaweza potelea tu huko South Korea?
It depends with the scholarship. I've seen scholarships that requires you to come back and work in your country for a minimum of 1 or 2 years, so that knowledge is transferable. However, some scholarships are open. It comes to an immigration issue other than the scholarship issue. So if it's an immigration issue, then some countries allow for job-seeking visas. So you can change your visa from student visa to job-seeking, or actually you may get a job and get a working visa. So that is a bit specific. However, it's important to note that when you're applying for a scholarship, you must state clearly that you'll come back home and contribute to the development of that country. That is the purpose of the scholarship.
So you have to state it.
If I'm taking a scholarship interview and I'm asked why I think I deserve the scholarship or why I want to study in that country, and I say that I want to study there, get a job there, work there, bring my family there, then I lose the scholarship. The purpose is not for us to be migrant in other countries. To get the knowledge and bring back the knowledge. Yes. Exactly. Once you know that, it becomes easier to understand how it works. Yeah.
So for those who want to get this book, and I'm sure there's a lot of interest for it, how do they get it?
You can get it through me directly.
Okay. You want to give a number and email?
Yes. My number is 0716289058. That is 0716289058. And alternatively, they can buy it on Jumia. Jumia online shopping. And it was easier because it get delivered to where you are. Or alternative, they can get it at Textbook Center.
So TBC is stocking it.
Yeah, TBC. Nice. They can get it at TBC.
Okay. Well, for those who want to win, retain a scholarship, you have a very comprehensive guide here by Douglas Owino, including even the list of universities worldwide that you can try your luck in applying for this scholarship.
There is a part, I don't know if you can allow me to just mention. Please. If you go to this page 239, 239, I've written special 50% tuition scholarship.
Yes.
So there are 3 schools that I've had an agreement with because previously students were asking me, well, you only guide, but do you give scholarship? I said, I don't have money to give scholarship. So what I could do is to agree with the school to offer some percentage scholarships, and these schools agreed to offer scholarships, percentage 50, at least 50% scholarship.
Right.
So what it means is that it has been signed by myself and the university. That is page after 243. So if you get the copy of this book and you're interested in any of these programs, you only need to fill this form. Once you fill this form and attach to your application, then you have at least 50% tuition scholarship.
Care of.
Yeah. I'm in negotiation with some schools in the US now, and hopefully they'll come through.
The same deal will come through.
The same deal. And my aim is to at least have a number of schools as well. However, the book is to guide you if you apply for any scholarship.
But you're just saying that there's a partnership you're in with some schools there for some these programs. I think a lot of 80% of people actually are in these programs.
Some good programs.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Douglas, for coming to the show today.
I do appreciate.
I do
appreciate. My goal this year is to reach at least 1 million people directly. So I gave a number of speeches. I was in Mauritius just 1 week ago, beginning in South Africa in October, speaking. And I visited a number of local universities and different high schools. And I know that many students and parents who are struggling with paying fees, or basically, you may be in a position to pay, but you're struggling paying. You understand? And I just want to create that awareness and pass the information. So
well, all the best with that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for what you continue to do.
I really do appreciate it.
And thank you for watching the show today. Have a wonderful Monday.